At the beginning of the story, we are introduced to a young man named Yossi Ginsburg. Yossi is an American soldier who has a great passion for traveling and adventure. He has already visited many dangerous places before, and he knows very well how to survive in difficult situations. Since childhood, he has had one dream: to go into the dense Amazon jungle and experience real adventure there. The Amazon, where even a trace of a human being is hard to find. Before heading toward the jungle, Yossi arrives at a small village from where tourists travel into the Amazon by boat. Several tourists are already present there. After a short while, everyone gets on the boat, and the boat is just about to leave, when suddenly a man from behind signals them to stop. He was also supposed to go on the same journey, but due to arriving a little late, he misses the boat. Yossi stops the boat and takes that man along with him. This small act of help becomes the beginning of a friendship between the two. That man's name was Professor Marcus Stam, who is a teacher by profession, and he also has an equal passion for traveling. Both of them had very similar thinking, so within a short time, they became good friends. Within no time, the boat drops them off on an island near Bolivia, from where their real jungle journey was about to begin. Several tourists were already present on the island, who had come to spend their vacation in the jungle. Yossi and Marcus had a plan to survive through the Amazon jungle and come out from the other side, so they decided to stay for a few days in a nearby small village to prepare. Marcus had a friend living in this very village, Kevin Gale. Marcus introduces Yossi to Kevin. Kevin is an American photographer and explorer, and he has traveled through almost all of South America. He keeps coming and going into the jungles. Very soon, all three of them become good friends, because all three of them were lovers of adventure and exploring dangerous places. The next morning, Yossi was walking alone in the village, when suddenly an unknown man from behind calls out to him by name. Yossi is startled. How does this man know his name? That man's name was Karl Ruprechter. He asks Yossi, "Do you want to go into the Amazon jungle? I know you are very excited to go there." Then Karl tells him that deep inside the jungle lives an Indian tribe that has never had any contact with the outside world. Very few people know about them, and he can help them reach there. Karl also shows Yossi a photo of himself with the indigenous people. Looking at the photo, Yossi begins to trust him. Just the idea of meeting an unknown tribe fills him with excitement. He had always loved learning about wild tribes, but he does not think about who this man really is and why he wants to help him for no reason. Carried away by excitement, Yossi immediately decides to go with Karl. Returning home, Yossi tells all of this to Marcus and Kevin. He was extremely excited. He says that if we go with Karl, we can see people that no human being in the world has ever seen. Marcus immediately replies, "Are you crazy? How can you trust a stranger like this? If no human has ever seen that tribe, then what was Karl doing there? How did he get a photo taken with them?" Yossi tries to convince them. He tells them that Karl goes into the jungle to search for gold. There is a river there where a good amount of gold is found. If they go there, they could also have gold on their way back, and they could become very rich. But Kevin and Marcus do not trust his words even a little. Then Yossi says, "Tomorrow you two meet Karl yourselves. If you feel even the slightest doubt about him, we will not go with him." The next morning, all three go to meet Karl. This time, Karl had also brought a map of the jungle with him. He tells them that the Indian tribe he is talking about lives at a place called Apollo, deep in the dense Amazon jungles. It will take around 4 to 5 days to reach there. They will have to begin the journey on a small plane. Karl talks in such detail about the routes through the jungle, the rivers, and the dangers there, that slowly Kevin and Marcus also begin to trust what he is saying. Finally, all four of them are ready for this dangerous journey, to meet that tribe that perhaps the world has never seen. The journey was long and difficult, so before leaving, they make full preparations. Just before departing, Yossi, Kevin, and Marcus were standing in a shop, carefully looking at the map of the jungle. A little while later, Karl also arrives there. He gives all three of them a special survival tip for the jungle. He says, "Your best friend in the jungle is the river. Keep walking alongside the river. It will surely take you to your destination one way or another." The next morning, the whole group gets on a small plane and begins the journey. As soon as they get off the plane, in front of them was the dense, green, but terrifying Amazon jungle. All four slowly begin to move forward, deeper inside. After walking for quite a long time, everyone gets badly exhausted, so they set up a small camp right there and sit down to rest. Karl tells them that the tribe they are going to meet may look like they belong to the Stone Age, but in reality they are very smart and powerful. They had no concern with the outside world. They lived their life on their own terms. Due to tiredness, everyone eats and goes to sleep. But in the middle of the night, Marcus suddenly wakes up screaming. He feels like some animal has attacked him. Everyone gets scared. Carl switches on the torch, and it turns out that it was just a large butterfly. The good thing was that it was not dangerous. As soon as morning comes, everyone starts the journey again. On the way, Yossi and Kevin start making fun of Marcus about the night's incident, that he had got scared of a butterfly. But their jokes do not last long because suddenly heavy rain starts. Despite the rain, they do not stop and keep walking, because if they had stopped there, they might have fallen sick. After quite a long time, when the rain stops, they rest, light a fire, and dry their wet clothes. In this dangerous jungle, Carl was using his survival knowledge to teach everyone how to stay alive. Just then, suddenly, some strange and scary sounds begin to be heard from inside the jungle. Hearing those sounds, everyone felt that maybe some wild animal was nearby. They get ready to run, but what comes in front of them is not an animal, but a local man who was taking his cow towards the village. He invites them to his village. These villagers were not wild but ordinary people. They become very happy upon seeing people from the city and welcome them warmly. They are given food and drinks. Yossi, Marcus, and Kevin really like the culture there and the behavior of the people. The villagers already knew Carl, so everyone mixes with each other quickly. After spending the night there, all four set out again on their journey the next morning. Moving ahead, Carl spots a monkey. He quietly shoots at it. The bullet hits, but the monkey does not die immediately. So Carl goes close and kills it with a knife. Hunting animals in the jungle in this area was illegal, but Carl does this in order to survive in the jungle. Seeing this, Marcus gets frightened. Carl laughs and says, "A bullet is never wasted in the jungle." Now they had something to eat. As night falls, they set up camp and cook and eat that very monkey. 3 days had passed since they entered the jungle. Due to continuous walking, Marcus's feet had gotten into a very bad condition, and he was feeling a lot of pain while walking. When his shoes were taken off, it was found that his feet had been badly injured. Carl immediately takes out medicine from his bag and applies it to his feet. The condition was such that it could take at least 3 to 4 days to heal. So Carl suggests that it would be better to rest there for a few days. Carl says that as soon as Marcus recovers a little, they will start walking again. But Yossi and Kevin did not want to stop under any circumstances. Both were extremely excited to meet the jungle tribe. Kevin also wanted to write about these unseen people in his article, so he was not ready to wait either. Then Yossi comes up with a new idea. He says that if they build a raft and move ahead through the river, the journey could be completed faster. But Carl flatly refuses this. He knew that the river journey was extremely dangerous. He explains that the river looks calm right now, but a little further ahead, its flow becomes very fast. Going there on a raft would be like directly inviting death. He jokingly says that he does not want to become food for jungle fish, but Yossi and Kevin keep insisting again and again. Finally, after a lot of argument, they agree to go via the river route. All three search for strong logs in the jungle and together build a raft. Then they sit on it and begin their new journey. Carl is still warning them about the dangers ahead, and he was also showing the way because the real knowledge of the jungle routes was his alone. In the beginning, everyone found the river journey quite enjoyable. The raft was floating comfortably and moving forward, but within a short time, the current of the river suddenly started getting faster. The water was flowing so rapidly that it became difficult to control the raft. The strong current started pulling them away from their path and taking them in another direction. Both got frightened. They could not figure out how to save themselves. Just then, suddenly a large rock came in front of them and their raft got stuck in it. It was as though a storm was rising in the river. Now they had to do something immediately. Otherwise, the very next moment, both of them could lose their lives. Yossi had gone into complete panic. Seeing Yossi's condition, Kevin gives him courage. He says, "Yossi, I will jump into the water and somehow reach the shore. From there, I will throw a rope towards you, and you hold it and come out." But Yossi tries to stop him because he also knew that getting out from here was extremely difficult. Still, Kevin reassures him, and without any delay jumps into the river. Struggling and bobbing in the strong current, Kevin with great difficulty manages to reach the shore. During this, he also gets several injuries and gets badly exhausted. Somehow managing himself, he tries to throw the rope towards Yossi. But before that, the strong current breaks their raft apart. As the raft breaks, Yossi also gets swept along with the water and quickly moves further ahead. Yossi gets several injuries while being swept away. Kevin calls out his name loudly, but it was already too late. Yossi had been swept very far away with the strong current. Seeing him go like that, Kevin breaks down inside. He runs along the riverbank chasing him, but Yossi is nowhere to be seen. On the other side, after being swept away for quite a long time, Yossi somehow manages to reach the shore. He was completely exhausted and badly frightened. The worst thing was that all his belongings had also been swept away in the water. After a while, he spots his bag floating in the river. He gets back into the water and somehow grabs the bag and brings it out. A little bit of survival supplies were still remaining inside the bag. There were also some painkiller medicines in it. After taking the medicine, his condition begins to improve a little. When he recovers somewhat, he sets out again into the jungle in search of Kevin. He was calling out for Kevin loudly, but there was no one around. Even after searching for a long time, there was no trace of Kevin. Finally, he takes out the map given by Carl. He did not know how to read a map very well. Still, recalling the things Carl had told him, he tries to figure out the direction. Marking a point on the map, he starts walking in that direction. For the past 2 days, Yossi had not eaten anything. Due to hunger, his condition was growing weaker. While walking, his eyes fall on a fruit tree. He climbs the tree to pluck fruit, but a snake hiding there spots him and attacks him, and both fall to the ground. The good thing was that Yossi manages to escape the snake's bite. As soon as he falls on the ground, he picks up a nearby stone and kills the snake with it. Now he had something to eat. As night falls, he cooks and eats that very snake. Due to hunger and exhaustion, his condition starts deteriorating, and he begins to see strange hallucinations. The exhausted Yossi tries to sleep. Just then, he suddenly hears the voice of Marcus. He opens his eyes with a start and sees that Marcus is standing in front of him. Yossi becomes extremely happy to see him, but as soon as he tries to go near him, the truth comes out. It was only his hallucination. In reality, no one was there. Having wandered alone in the jungle for so many days, his mental state had started to deteriorate. At that very moment, he feels that some wild animal is wandering around him. Out of fear, he quickly gathers dry wood and lights a fire. As soon as the light of the fire appears, that animal runs away from there. The next morning, when Yossi wakes up, he had a severe headache. His head was pounding with pain. When Yossi touched his head, he felt that one part of the head had swollen. There was some strange pricking sensation inside the skin. On looking carefully, he found out that a bug had gotten inside his skin. Yossi gathers courage and makes a small cut with a knife and grabs the tail of the bug. Enduring the pain, he slowly pulls it out. After this, he starts his journey again. A little further ahead, he spots some eggs. He eats them, which gives his body a little energy. Moving ahead, he sees some broken, run-down wooden houses. It seemed as if some tribe had once lived here, but now everything had been deserted. Yossi feels that this place is suitable for resting. He lights a fire and sits down there. There was sharp pain in his feet. When he takes off his shoes, he sees that due to walking continuously for many days, his feet had been badly injured and blood was also coming from them. In this condition, he could not go much further, so he decides to stay there and spend the night. The next morning, his condition is a little better than before. He gathers courage and starts walking again to get out of the jungle. A little further ahead, he spots human footprints on the ground. Seeing this, a new hope of staying alive is reborn inside him. He feels that maybe these footprints belong to his friend Kevin, so he starts following those footprints. The scene cuts, and we see Kevin, who had been fighting to survive in the jungle for the past several days. His condition had also become very bad, but luckily, some local jungle people spotted Kevin. They rescued him and took him to their village. He was taken care of for several days, and when his health improved a little, he went straight to the police so that Yossi could be saved. Kevin told the officers the entire story. Hearing his account, the police decided to send a plane into the jungle to search for Yossi. Meanwhile, Yossi had now survived in the jungle for 14 days. His mental state had deteriorated badly, and it seemed as though he had almost given up hope. Just then, he suddenly hears the sound of a plane in the sky. This was the same plane that the police had sent to search for him. With all his strength, he begins to wave a red cloth in the air so that the plane can spot him. He shouts loudly, asking for help, but due to the dense jungle and the tall trees, the rescue team cannot see him. After a little while, the plane turns back. Yossi's last hope also shatters. On the other side, when the plane returns, the officers tell Kevin that they did not find Yossi anywhere in the jungle. Hearing this, Kevin becomes very upset. He repeatedly pleads with the officers to start the search once more, but the officers say that if a person does not come out of the jungle for 5 days, he is considered dead, and Yossi has been missing for 14 days now. According to them, there is no hope of him surviving anymore, but Kevin still believed that his friend was alive. Finally, Kevin decides that if no one is going to help him, he himself will go and find Yossi. He goes back to the same village where he had stayed before. There he finds a local man who had full knowledge of every route in the jungle. Kevin pleads with him to go into the jungle with him to find Yossi, but that local man at first plainly refuses. refuses because he too believed that Yossi was probably no longer alive. Kevin does not give up. He offers to pay him money. Finally, the man agrees and is ready to go with Kevin into the jungle. Meanwhile, Yossi's condition had become extremely bad. He had come very close to death and was beginning to give up hope of staying alive. Just then, he feels that someone is near him. When he gets up and looks, a jungle woman is standing in front of him. She gets frightened upon seeing Yossi, but Yossi reassures her that he will not harm her. Gradually, she begins to trust him. She comes near him and lies down, and both seem to drift off to sleep. After a little while, when Yossi's eyes open, he realizes that no one was there at all. That woman was only his hallucination. Understanding this truth, he breaks down inside. But even then, he does not give up and tries to get up and move forward again. In front of him, he spots a tree on which a large number of ants were walking. Seeing them, a strange thought comes to his mind. He feels that if he lets the ants climb on his body, the pain might reactivate his body. He takes off his shirt and grabs the tree. As soon as the ants start biting him, he writhes in pain. But from that very pain, he gets a little courage and energy. He quickly brushes off the ants and starts running forward. After some time, he reaches the river and sits there for a little while to rest. Then, using a branch from a tree, he draws the letter Y on the ground, so that if someone comes looking for him, they can understand that he is somewhere nearby. During this time, a turtle passes near him. Yossi was extremely hungry. He quickly picks up a stone to kill the turtle and eat it. But the very next moment, he feels sorry for it and lets the turtle go. Within a short while, thick darkness spreads all around. Yossi feels that perhaps by morning, he will die, because there was not even a little bit of strength left in his body. No help had come in all these days either. Lost in these thoughts, he falls asleep. The next morning, a miracle happens. Kevin reaches that very spot. Seeing the Y mark on the ground, he understands that Yossi must be somewhere close by. He was hopeful that his friend would still be alive, but even after searching for a long time, there was no trace of Yossi. Now slowly, the fear that Yossi might have died in this jungle also begins to creep into his mind. Disappointed, Kevin decides to turn back. While leaving, he turns on the boat's generator. The sound of it opens the eyes of Yossi, who was lying unconscious nearby. Even in his terrible state, he starts calling out to Kevin with all his strength, but in the noise of the river waves and the generator, his voice does not reach Kevin. Kevin gets into the boat and starts heading back, and Yossi helplessly watches him go further away. At that moment, he breaks down completely from the inside. Just then, Kevin turns around one last time and suddenly sees a man standing far away. It was Yossi. Kevin could not believe his own eyes. After searching for his friend for so many days, he was truly standing alive in front of him, shouting for help. Kevin immediately asked the local man to turn the boat around. As soon as the boat reaches the shore, Kevin comes running to Yossi. As soon as Yossi sees him, he bursts into tears. Both of them hug each other tightly, as if life had given them a second chance. Kevin and the local man were both amazed that Yossi was still alive, even after all those days. They immediately seat him in the boat and take him toward the village. Upon reaching the village, people are stunned to see Yossi, because he had survived alone in the dense Amazon jungle for a full 2 weeks. It was nothing short of a miracle. Yossi became one of the handful of people in the world who accomplished the feat of surviving alone in the jungle for so many days and coming out alive. This story is in reality the true story of Yossi Ginsburg. At the end of the movie, it is also revealed that Carl was actually a psychopathic killer who had lured Yossi, Kevin, and Marcus into the jungle with evil intentions. But what happened to Marcus and Carl afterwards, no one has ever been able to find out until today. Yossi and Kevin were fortunate that they changed their path at the right time. If that had not happened, perhaps their story would have ended right there. And with this, the movie ends here. If you liked the video, please do subscribe to our channel and like the video.